Africa loses nearly 4 million hectares of forest every single year, more than any other continent on Earth. In Kenya, deforestation and climate change continue to threaten rivers, food security, and livelihoods. According to the United Nations, global temperatures have already risen by more than 1.1 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. But in the middle of that crisis, some communities are choosing restoration over destruction. One tree at a time. One community at a time. This is the story of Hearts of Green. For Moses Muya, environmental conservation is deeply personal. Growing up in rural Kenya, he watched rivers dry up, trees disappear, and seasons become unpredictable. While many people accepted the destruction as normal, Moses believed communities could restore what had been lost. Armed with seedlings and determination, he began moving from village to village, speaking to communities about tree planting and the connection between people and the land they depend on.
This organization is a registered NGO whereby we carry out environmental conservation activities towards addressing climate change. And as an organization, we've been fully involved in climate action, especially in tree growing, and majorly we collaborate with institutions, corporates, to support them in tree growing. And we are looking forward to working with as many corporates as possible. I come from a rural area whereby previously when I was young I would see rains come during the April season. There were 2 seasons. But later as I grew up I realized that rains were becoming scant always. And I would see also changes. Previously I would see where trees all over. But later I realized that everyone is just cutting trees. And that's why now I started connecting that there's a connection between trees and the rains. And therefore I realized that I also have a role to play as an individual to support tree growing and sensitize people tree growing so that we address the rains that were coming scarce as we moved on. There were a number of problems. One, it was about the aspect of replanting trees. That was one of the biggest problems that everywhere we were facing, because most of the people were just cutting trees. So I came up with a resolution to come up with ways of campaigning and informing people about tree planting. And it really worked well, because people now embrace it. They are growing trees and taking care of those trees. And today, wherever we have our reach, we realize there are changes.
What began as a small community initiative has now grown into Hearts of Green, an environmental conservation organization working across Kenya through restoration, education, and climate action. Led by programs head Rosemary Guchure, the organization partners with schools, corporations, NGOs, and local communities to restore degraded landscapes and promote sustainable environmental practices.
Yeah, we have various programs, but the key flagship project is the Landscape Repair and Transformation Program, whereby we've partnered with the Wangari Maathai Institute. We have other programs where we do advocacy. We have Adopt a Tree by the students, the pupils community. By that I mean the high schools and the primary schools. We have ESG programs whereby we lead or help corporates to be able to write very good ESG reports. So there are many, but these are our flagship. You cannot work alone as an organization or 2 organizations. So to be able to plant these trees, we partnered with women groups who are growing the seedlings in various areas in our country. We've partnered with schools. Schools are considered actually communities to enable us achieve this big goal. So we have various communities. We have stakeholders in the name of, corporates. Because sometimes when you talk about community, you think it's the rural person. Community is not the rural person. Community is here, community is there, community is everywhere. So for us, that is our biggest goal. We look at community in wholesome.
When I started, the journey was very tricky, very difficult. Some, soil is always related to like poverty. You see, even someone who is maybe not mentally well, you'll find him soily. So when people would see me with carrying trees planting, they thought that I had gone out of my mind. And so it was very difficult, first of all, to convince people that this is the direction that everyone needs to go back to. Then we came trying to sensitize people as we progressed. And later people realized that trees that were planted like 3 years ago, they were now growing. If it was like the hash avocados, they would now start getting fruits. And that is where now I realize that now people, institutions, communities are embracing. And later now, that's why we even later came up and partnered with a very serious institution, that is the Wangari Maathai Institute, whereby now from there we've worked together the journey. And today we pride ourselves as an institution that has come up with a flagship program dubbed Landscape Repair and Transformation, where now every tree that we plant, we track it.
Hearts of Green believes environmental conservation begins with education. Through school programs reaching both primary and secondary institutions, students are taught the importance of climate conservation through practical experience. Children plant trees, nurture seedlings, and learn that protecting the environment is not theory, it is responsibility. The organization also runs ESG programs that bring corporations directly into restoration efforts alongside communities.
We do advocacy with the schools, that is the primary schools and the secondary schools, whereby we teach these students about environment and about climate action, which we say that climate action is actually the threat of our time right now. So we are able to teach these students and even identify environmental ambassadors amongst them, so that when we are doing our tree planting, they are able to adopt trees. As the trees are growing, they're able to see, I am able to take care of this tree, it will grow. If it's a fruit tree, by the time it's giving fruits, maybe they have left the school and they know they have left a big impact. And that knowledge, when they go out there, it doesn't leave them, but they're able to live in a way that they actually conserve the environment. Another project is the ESG reporting. We partner with corporates such as banks, insurance companies, and various institutions, because right now, because of climate action, there's that call. There's the global call, there's the regional call. Within our country, we have the call to plant 15 billion trees just towards sustainability. But who is doing this? It's the corporates. It is the schools. So once they do it, they should be able to translate these to reports that they show this is what we've been able to do. So we help organizations to craft their ESG reports very well. We train the staff or the department that is taking care of that, so that they're actually globally sound, because climate action it's a global call. It's not just a Kenyan thing.
At the center of Hearts of Green's conservation work is a partnership inspired by one of Africa's greatest environmental icons, Professor Wangari Maathai, the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004 for her environmental activism. Through collaboration with the Wangari Maathai Institute at the University of Nairobi, Hearts of Green continues the legacy of restoration, sustainability, and community empowerment.
It's an institute that was started about 2009 in order to immortalize the work of Nobel laureate Professor Wangari Maathai, who was known for her work in environment, peace, and democracy. And one of the pivot work that Wagari was known for was about environment, particularly the aspect about tree planting, and also promoting the aspect about community empowerment so that they can be able to take care of the environment. And for us to be able to undertake that work, we do work with several stakeholders, both government, non-governmental organizations, and private organizations. It is in that particular process that we collaborated with one of the interested partners, the Hearts of Green, about 2022, who were keen to get involved with us in terms of tree planting and also in terms of empowering the stakeholder, including community, private sector, in terms of promoting aspect about sustainability and also taking care of restoration for the environment.
Our collaboration is towards addressing landscape restoration and transformation. And in this one, we are supporting tree growing, and in a different way. We have invested technology. They share with us science information to ensure that whatever we are doing, it is science related.
The reason why Wagari Maathai Institute was started was actually to materialize her work. And one of the ways we can actually achieve that is actually by tree planting. And not planting alone as an institute, but also collaborating with other organizations. So we do actually plant trees with private organizations, insurance, banking companies, to be able to advance that particular agenda. And for Wagari Maathai, planting trees was a front for building aspects related to resolving conflict, issues about peace building, issues addressing climate change.
For beneficiaries like Thomas Otieno, the impact of Hearts of Green is visible not only in the environment, but in the mindset of communities themselves. Areas once left bare are slowly becoming green again. Families are learning the importance of conservation. Communities that once viewed tree planting as unnecessary are now actively protecting and restoring their surroundings.
Okay, I remember before I joined, kulikuwa tu na like hizi trees pepa peke yake ndo zilikuwa na I think kulikuwa na sasa wale wenye walikuwa wanapanda hizi mbegu, na mimi nilikuja kama one of the wenye watakuwa na take care of the trees until ziko kubwa. So kuna a big difference since I joined and now. I knew it through Moses Muya. He's actually our boss. Na hapa tunaishi hapa ni kwake. Actually mimi naishi hapa. So kupitia kwake venye alikuja na hii project, immediately after nimaliza form 4 nilipata amekuja hii project imeanza, na so akaniambia I can join, na hivyo ndo nikakuwa part of the Heart of Green. Mimi naweza sema wajitume for the meantime, sababu hakuna siku ile mazuri itaikuja kama hujaitafuta. So the best thing ni kujituma. Ile kazi yenye umepata unaipiga na unaipiga na roho safi. Sasa kama pasi sisi wetu tunajituma hivi. Juu hadi mimi kama ningekuwa nimekaa pia singekuwa nimejifunza vitu mingi na pia nisingekuwa na earn. So I can advise them pia wanajituma. Ukipata kazi yoyote wajitume tuingie na ufanye.
The challenge, however, remains enormous. According to the United Nations Environmental Program, Africa contributes less than 4% of global greenhouse gas emissions, yet remains among the regions most affected by climate change impacts, including drought, food insecurity, and ecosystem loss. Convincing struggling communities to prioritize conservation is not always easy, but Hearts of Green continues to transform skepticism into action through education, patience, and community involvement.
Yes, there are various challenges. Like now, when you are planting maybe trees in an area, yes, you have maybe the buy-in of the top, the people in charge. Unfortunately, sometimes you end up having the other people who would like to sabotage such tree planting. You'll find maybe, especially when you plant like fruit trees, they are normally stolen. That is one of the biggest challenges that we have. Another challenge is on the aspect of when we are dealing with corporates. There are most of the people, you realize they don't know the process of planting and how long it takes for the tree to grow. They expect that just the same way maybe they want by the end of the year to perform, to have profit, that it should be automatic for the trees, which is it might be the opposite. So maybe you'll find maybe their financial year is starting in January, so they want us to plant trees in January, yet it's dry. So before you convince them that this is not the right time to plant trees, it is sometimes even you find maybe they assume we are not willing to work. But we have to tell them the truth that we have to wait for the rains. We have to have mechanisms to take care of these trees. We have success stories in Nakuru. We have areas we rehabilitated in Bahati, and after 3 years, the rivers had started to dry up. Today, if you go there, the rivers have returned. Water is flowing. We also have another area in Kajiado, a very dry area called in Quito, whereby we partnered with an organization to grow trees, fruit trees. Today, it is a very dry area, but inside that desert, there is a forest of fruits.
Every year on June 5th, the world marks World Environment Day, a global reminder that protecting the planet is a shared responsibility. The United Nations estimates that nearly 10 million hectares of forest are lost globally every year, yet organizations like Hearts of Green believe restoration is still possible when communities choose action over silence. Their message is simple: plant a tree, protect it, and become part of the solution before the damage becomes irreversible.
During this World Environment Day, as we observe this very important day, we are appealing to each and every individual to know that you as an individual, you have the rightful role to take care of the environment. The small steps that you take are the ones that will enable the entire world to change and to go back to where it was before. And especially by participating in that, we'll be able to work on the temperature. Remember, we have a very narrow time to reverse the temperatures that we have around. So each individual, if you can be able to plant a tree, take care of that tree. If it's organizations that are maybe emitting emissions, polluting the environment, those organizations should address that by changing the way they are doing the business, by stopping polluting, so that we have an environment that each and everyone can be able to live in.
Today being the World Environmental Day, and the theme is climate action. And as I've said, this is a threat of our time, not only in Kenya or Africa, but globally. I would like to leave each and every one of us with this saying that it's the little things that citizens do that actually transform our communities and even our societies. Why am I saying that? We are doing our little thing, the other community should do their little thing, another country should do their little thing, so that together this will add up to something that will actually act towards climate action.
My call today on 2026 World Environment Day, where the theme is about climate change and restoration, what is it that you can do where you are? Is it planting a tree that you're very sure that you plant number that you can be able to take care of? Is it weeding one that you actually planted last year that could require attention? Is it mulching one? Or is it talking to the community? You can talk to a community within your neighborhood. It could be a school. And please go and talk to them and tell them this particular day we are talking about climate change, which is a reality in our time. And we need to make people aware that is going to change the way we see it, and so that we actually need to take action to ensure that our livelihood are able to adapt to the changing climate.
The future of environmental conservation will not be decided only in policies or conferences. It will be decided in schools, communities, and ordinary homes where people choose to protect what remains. Hearts of Green envisions a future where restored forests, protected rivers, and environmentally conscious communities become the norm across Africa. One seedling at a time, they are proving that restoration is possible and that the fight for the environment is far from over.
Hearts of Green, in the next 5 years, we see ourselves to be an organization that will be championing environmental conservation in Africa. And that we say we are talking of all the maybe in the next like 5 to 10 regions of Africa, so that we extend our goodwill messages to them. They embrace the environmental conservation and address the climate adversaries that we are currently facing. Any individual, any institution carrying out environmental conservation, you need to know that you are in the right track. You are on the right track. You don't need to go back and maybe give up. There are challenges. What you need is to carry out collaborations, so that maybe your strength and when it is joined with our strength, we will be able to address the challenges that you could be facing as an institution or as an individual. So a clarion call is for them to continue. Let us amplify the voice of environmental conservation, so that every individual in Kenya is able to also know, be cognizant of the fact that they have to take care of the environment, and that is the ultimate goal of each person.
We have this high-level vision of transforming our landscapes across our country, and God willing across our region. So my work is to ensure that this big vision, we bring it down to an implementable stage, such that where we are, we have the seedlings, we are able now to take them to the ground and plant these trees. And in between, or between this program, we don't look at trees just like trees. You see people say, plant the trees. When you see the tree, it's a beautiful sight. But we are looking at our air, we are looking at our soils, we are looking at our catchment areas where we are getting our rain from. So the big vision here is to ensure that we not only plant the